All right, how's everybody out there doing? It's your boy Roosevelt Parker, aka the Black Rose, aka Dark Side. Man, I went out and checked out the Airtight Combat Sports show over at Red and Jerry's, their last final show over there. Um, there were some hits and some misses, some things that I felt, I enjoyed, some things that weren't enjoyed so much. Um, you know, the one thing about this about my channel and when I go out to these fights or when I comment on fights or things in life or whatever, I keep everything neutral. Everything gets a fair chance with me. I'm not on anybody's side. I'm not backing one person or another or one company or another. I just do what I do, and I let the fans or the people that view my videos to take it and run with it on their own. So let's jump into the airtight show from Friday night. Um, Look, I'm gonna say it like this. I've known Steve Mestis since I was amateur, since I was a young cat, and he's a matchmaker. It's what he does. I'm not, I definitely felt like the show Friday night could have been a better show as far as matches were concerned. But it you can't match it up if people don't want to fight. You can't match it up if the situation just isn't right. Things like that. So if we got to go with his credentials, then I'm gonna say easily a few hundred shows, and then this is just one show where the matches that were made weren't necessarily the best. The ones at the top were, but the majority of the matchups just weren't the best matchups. But once again, he's still hitting a 99.9% uh great fight ratio when it comes to shows and matchmaking. One kind of bad show as far as matches goes, you can't knock him for. I mean, it's about time he had at least one, because he really is a go-to guy when it comes to great matchups throughout the history of Colorado. And I mean, people call him from all over the world to help with their shows, and there's a reason that they do that because he puts great matchups together. But that's my opinion of the Friday night show, that all the matchups weren't necessarily the best ones. Um, let's see. Then the environment. I didn't like, the route that the fighters had to take um, to get to the ring. And I through some investigating that night, I found out that that was not necessarily Steve Messis' fault. It was the facility's fault. They had switched them from one side to another. So the fighters they didn't have a clear route to the ring that was unobstructed from fans. I felt like it was kind of crazy for the fighters to try to get to the ring to do what they've been getting ready for all night, only to run into a crowd of drunk fans on the way to the ring that were hindering them and their people from getting to the ring. But once again, that was on Red and Jerry's because Steve Messis had no control over that. Besides that, though, it was what he does. Great show. Limo Driver is always a good commentator. Sometimes he got to tone that down just a little bit, a little bit. When the judges start having to tell you and the commission have to tell you to keep the show rolling, Limo, you're talking a little too much now, baby. Um, but besides that, let's get to the fights. Like I said, most of them just weren't that great a matchup. I have to mention Allen Big Thunder because Velasquez, because he's in my challenge, and this is a guy that still has a ways to go, but he was losing weight and working hard. He did what he had to do, and he decided to take a fight. And he came out, knocked this guy out first round, and I was impressed at how calm, he weathered a quick storm, and then I felt like he got very calm in order to settle down a little bit, place a couple shots, put the guy down, and get out of there, go, finish up his work. Um, that was a really good thing. It was good. I was proud of him. It was a good thing to see, and I have no complaints about that. That was two guys that were debuting as amateurs, pro-am, whatever. And so it was good. It's a good experience for them. It's good for the fans, things like that, to see those kind of things happen. Um, Grudge had a heavyweight fighter there. Went out there, knocked his guy out, and he's we'll be sparring partners in the future. We met a couple weeks ago. He's a great guy. He fights MMA, and that was his first time making his pro debut as a fighter, and he did a really good job too. Let's see. You know what? You know what you never see? Something, this is a sidetrack, but something that you never see on a Steve Mestis show or I've never seen it on any Colorado show. And that's one thing that you could definitely give thumbs up to all of the promoters that promote in the state of Colorado. I have never seen what happened to my stablemates, the Herrera brothers, Marcos and Michael, out in Arizona, happen here. Their fights kept getting put off. They were told they were going to fight earlier. Then they kept messing with them, getting them warmed up, then telling them, no, they're going to fight the next fight. No, you're going to fight this fight. No, you're going to fight that fight. That throws the fighter off. If you're a promoter, you should get it together. Don't try to do something in order to keep to give your fighters an advantage. Tell a person when they're going to fight, line it up, and when it's that time, they go out. Have that scheduled and ready to go. Don't mess with the fighters, but then tell your fighters, the real time, and then and just so that your fighter has an advantage over somebody. I have never, ever, ever seen that in the state of Colorado. I've never seen it happen. And because of that, that is definitely a thumbs up from me to the state of Colorado and the promoters that they have and the professionalism that they show whenever they put on a show. I've never seen it happen. They normally start in a timely manner, maybe 10, 15 minutes late at the max, and they get the job done. It's a pretty good flow and rhythm of the show, and I've never seen that happen. I just had to throw that out there because I'm going to talk a little bit more about my boys, the Herreras, later, and I just felt that was wrong what happened to them back in Arizona. The fight between Castillo and Daniels, I really thought was going to be a really good matchup, but after a little bit of feeling out, you could tell that Castillo was a little weary of what was going to happen, what Daniel was going to bring to the table. But once he realized that there was just no fight in him, basically Castillo just ran him down until he could put him down. I mean, no disrespect. I like Torrance, I'm not one to tell anybody when it's time to hang it up or do whatever you got to do. But if you get dropped by a body shot, there's no respect for that in the game of boxing. You do not go down from a body shot. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just telling you the truth. If you don't like it, you can say what you got to say. You can speak on here. I don't care. But if you are a fighter and you get dropped from a body shot, and there's going to be some of you guys that have been dropped, and you're going to be like, hey, body shots hurt, or you get hit, no. Hell no. If you get dropped from a body shot as a fighter and your ass is supposed to be working your abs and getting all that right, we go out on our backs. That means you got hit, you lost control of your body, you went down. If you can take a knee because you got hit in the body, that's unacceptable. And then I get up. Unacceptable. In the sport of boxing, no body shots. That's basically some of that no mas stuff. We don't do that. No. Go out on your back or just man up and quit. I could take that better than going down from a body shot because you knew you couldn't take anymore and you quit. But going down from a body shot is ridiculous. That's what we work all that time in the gym for. So Castillo, great fight. He's over there out of TLC with Donald Camarena. Great fight. Great strategy. Pursued the fight in a professional manner. Controlled the ring. Controlled everything. And did what he had to do. Torrance. It is what it is, man. I just don't want to see you get hurt. I don't want to see you out there looking bad, messing up your name. It's time, bro. It's time. I have really been dreading this next fight that I need to speak on, but it has to be done. And that's the Brad Jackson, Gio Mercerron I really like both of these guys, but the one thing about Ali, if he talks stuff, he went out there and put you down. Roy Jones, if he ran his mouth, he went out there and he put you down. You know, God, there's just so many of them that the guys that talk a lot, they go out there and put you down. They excuse me, that allows them to. He gives them a mystique. When Mike Tyson finally wasn't able to knock everybody out, it wasn't because he didn't have the same power or the same ability, but it was because the mystique was gone. And that's what some guys have. There was guys that Mike Tyson went out there and basically they were beaten before they ever got out the dressing room because it was the mystique of Iron Mike. And that's what you had with Ali telling people what round he was going to knock him out in. And the list goes on. Bernard Hopkins coming out with his executioner gear on, and there was just a fear of a beast in people. James Toney destroying guys by and talking about their mama in front of him, and there was just nothing you could do except get knocked out. Brad Jackson called Gio Mercerron a house nigga. I didn't say it. It's not something that I necessarily would say out my mouth towards somebody, because that's some major insult right there. That's God, man. That's like slapping a grown man in the face, man. But if you're gonna do it, then you got to go out there and handle your business. I still believe Brad has the potential to do some things. I had heard it from some people during sparring sessions, and I had heard it out there in the ether that if he takes a nice shot, that he cannot, it makes him go into a defense mode and he can no longer function. And I defended him, saying that I didn't know that was true. I had never seen it. Well, Friday night I saw it. I watched Gio come out, use the jab, fill the situation out. I saw a couple of really solid shots that stumbled Brad. And then the next thing I know, he's no longer participating in the fight. And that shocked me because I thought with his experience that he would. I was definitely impressed with Gio, but at the same time, I feel like he got an opponent that he was able to get the rounds out of, but we didn't get to really see the full potential of Gio because Brad was continually holding on to Gio and pushing him back into the ropes and not participating in the fight, but also not allowing Gio to show his ability or skill as well. So in a manner of speaking, by the way that Brad Jackson handled himself in that fight, it kind of stunk up the situation of letting somebody else shine. You got to go out there and just leave it all out. You get caught with a couple of shots, you still got to go out there and box. Don't tie the dude up. Don't get tired, Brad. You never been that kind of dude. You always come in shape. So I can't believe that you were tired. The pace really didn't seem that heavy for your, the weight class. But I felt like Brad Jackson's performance really made it where Gio Mercerron could not shine or really show what he was capable of because he was too busy being held, which Brad ended up losing a point for. And I just feel like, your opinion is your opinion, but if a man beat you, then you got to man up. If you say something about a man, then that man beat you, and he beat you in blazing fashion, then you have to turn around and be a man and apologize to that man for the things that came out your mouth. That's just me, and that's just my opinion. I don't think we've seen the best of Gio Mercerron. I don't even think we've seen anywhere near what he can do. I think that Chris Morris and Trevor Whitman are doing a great job with him. I've seen him sparring, so I definitely know he's capable. I've seen him do more in the sparring session than I got to see him do in the fight. But in the sparring session, the guys aren't holding him. So I was real disappointed in the situation, but that is what it is, and that's my opinion on that. Let's see, what else? The MMA fight was a great fight. One of the better fights of the evening. A lot of action, things like that. And like I say, overall, not Messis' best show, but I think it was a lot of things that had his hands tied that didn't allow him to put on the kind of show that he likes to put on. Just time constraints, fights that didn't, fights that fell through. I know Reyes Diaz was supposed to fight, a couple other situations, and things just didn't go the way they were supposed to. And I think he had expected a better show himself, and it just didn't get to go in that direction. Referee Stephen Blair did a great job on the Mercerron Jackson fight. Even when times when Jackson seemed hurt, I watched him continue to allow, try to give Brad every opportunity to participate in the fight. He didn't want to take a point. I saw him warn him numerous times, and I know that he did not want to he did not want to be a factor in that, and that showed his professionalism as a referee. But then you have to do what you have to do, and he did that. But I watched him give every opportunity to let this fight become what everybody assumed that it would be. And so a shout out to Stephen Blair and his and don't forget his organization over there with WBC Cares. Great guy, good ref. Did an awesome job on that fight, the best that any ref could have done. And so that a shout out to him too. Also there that night was Quentin, DJ Quote the Beatmaker. He was taking photos. If you haven't got a chance to see him, go to Facebook, look up me, look up Chris Morris, things like that, Rocky Mountain Boxing Fight News.com, and you get some of those photos. He did an awesome job, came out real quality. So I definitely want to shoot a shout out to him. Think he did an awesome job that night. Let's see. Let's move on to the Herrera brothers, Marcos and Michael, out in Arizona. I watched the show on streaming on video Saturday night. Man, what can I say, man? I mean, I watch them train every day, run, do what they do. I love them cats. I heard all the things that went on, and I tried to warn them about that before they even went there. But you really can't be prepared for it until it happens to you. The moving the times around, things like that, just really messing with them in order to throw them off of their game. With Michael, I wasn't, I don't know. I mean, he left it all out there. You know what I'm saying? Coach Anthony felt that he needed to throw Michael he was all hard like his brother. He went down, got back up, and I think he would have stayed there and taken some more punishment. But Coach Anthony went ahead and threw in the towel, and because he's about that. He's about saving his fighter from themselves, so that they could fight another day and recover from the situation. So no shame in that. I mean, things happen. It's happened to all of us, and if it ain't happened to you yet, it will happen to you. Including Floyd Mayweather. Marcos, he went out there, he banged, he did what he had to do. He fought a really good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the guy just was a quality fighter that controlled a lot of the fight, and got in a lot of clean shots. I would have liked to have seen Marcos be a little bit more persistent with his style of fighting, a little more head movement, and just kind of getting in there, because he made him miss a lot. He actually made this guy miss quite a bit, but he needed to get in there, and also once he made him miss, he needed to make him pay for those misses, and that didn't always happen. And so when it goes to decision, you lose the decision. But at the same time, when I hear the commentators talking on both Marcos and Michael's fight, and it's only a couple of seconds into the first round, and I hear the commentator saying, well, he has this fight. He doesn't even have to do that much. He doesn't need to be the aggressor. He already has his fight in the bag. That tells me that before the first bell rung, everybody was already told to make sure that the guys that they fought were going to win this fight, one way or another. One way or another. If you don't believe me, go back, look at Iron Boy Promotions and look at the video and listen to the commentators. A couple seconds into the first round, when Michael's guy was being real aggressive, the very first thing I heard him say was, why is he being so aggressive? He doesn't have to be so aggressive. He's got this fight. How do you know he has the fight? There ain't been no rounds yet. You haven't even scored a round. So how does he have the fight? That tells me that you guys are talking beforehand and y'all plan to give this guy the fight. Period. And I know it happens. I love my hometown. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, but down there it's different, and it's like that in a lot of hometowns of people. I went out to my own hometown, fought this dude named George Garcia, fought in the Olympics fought in the Olympics for in Mexico or something like that, and went down there with Steve Messis as my trainer in my corner. We bashed this dude for 4 rounds, and we still lose the decision. And I don't understand it, but it's what happened, you know. And even and when you looked at his face, he felt the same way. And as you see, he ain't been fighting. He ain't been fighting damn near since that day because he knew he lost. But that's what happens in other people's backyards. But at least there wasn't commentators there basically saying it. That blew my mind. Once again, something I've never seen happen in the state of Colorado. A fighter comes from out of state, in state, it doesn't matter. He has a fair chance of winning this fight. Nobody prejudges anything, even if you are a Colorado superstar. If somebody comes here and fights Mike Alvarado, believe it, he doesn't get a hometown advantage because he's fighting in Colorado. In Colorado, you either win or you don't win. It happens. Ask my boy Donald Camarena. He came back here, fought Polly. The things happen. You know what I'm saying? If you don't bring it to the table, you ain't gonna win. Whether you here or you from the state of Colorado or not. And that's something I definitely respect about the state of Colorado. And Arizona, you should be ashamed on yourself. Out there in the UK, Chisora, if you are feeling great about this fight that you won over Malik Scott, you have lost your damn mind. That count, he beat. You can't give somebody a standing 8 count or a 10 count and they get up on the count of 8 and then you still win the fight. That's called theft. If you don't know it, in the United States, that is against the fucking law. I don't mean to cuss or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I know there's kids that watch this, watch my videos, but that is grand larceny. A man has 40 fights. You stole his O. You stole it. And then you got your hands held up. You bouncing around. You know you stole it. When you went back and looked at the video and saw what happened, you should have called back to the commission, to your commission and to your promoter and said, you know what? We need to rematch this fight because I can't be proud to win a fight in that manner. You didn't win. You didn't win. You know what I like about rematches and rubber matches? It's because one guy fights, wins, but he knows it's close and he wants to win decisively. So he fights again and maybe he loses. Now these dudes need a rubber match because they won and they go back and do it again till they prove who is the better fighter. I can appreciate that. That's that Arturo Gotti Ward stuff right there. I like that because that's men trying to prove where they stand and that they're not, they can't let it be close. Chisora, be a man. Give Malik a chance to fight you again. This time, I know you don't want to do it, but you need to fight in the U.S., fight in Puerto Rico, fight anywhere except the U.K. because dude should be fired. Your referee should be fired. Period. It's not even a question that this man should be fired. He robbed this man. You can't, you got to take a man's O. You don't get to rob him. A lot of people don't like Floyd Mayweather, but you don't get to steal his O. Somebody got to go out there and knock his ass out and take his O. You do not get to steal a man's O. They're hard enough to keep. So it should be respected when a man keeps it for so long. But then if you want it, you should have to take it. You don't get it for free. You don't get it as a hand-me-down. And you shouldn't accept that. And I'm not saying that you will, but it's been 3 days and I haven't seen any statements from you saying, hey, what happened was wrong. I don't appreciate it. I don't consider it a win. It's a blot on my record, and I'm not gonna go for that. I haven't seen any statements. So Chisora, do what you have to do, bruh. If you want to be considered a champion, I know you're trying to get to the Klitschko's. Everybody trying to get to the damn Klitschko's. But be a man. Handle your business. Clean that up before you move on. That way, if you go and hopefully you beat one of these dudes, you could be a real champion. You could be a man that wins a title and we can respect. And that's how I feel about that. A1 Boxing has a show coming up with my boy Chris Green on it. You know what I'm saying? He headlining the joint. It's next month on the 17th, August 17th, 2013 at PT Show Club. It's going to be outside in the parking lot. One damn good show. Steve Mestis and Airtight Combat Sports will be back next month in August as well at their new location. I'm telling you, just if you was disappointed by Friday's show, don't let that persuade you not to go to another one, because I think his first show at the new location, you're really gonna get a chance to see what it is that he does and what he's good at, and why so many people have respected him for so long when it comes to the sport of boxing. My boy, my brother Rob Frankel is fighting in August as well. He has a show coming up. I'm almost for sure it's going to be televised. Can't remember if it was a HBO Showtime, something like that. But I'll give you guys further information on that as I get it. Your boy should be fighting next month. You know, the return of the Rose. You know what I'm saying? Black Rose back to do his thing and pursue his dreams of getting some hardware around the waist. You know, it's been a long time coming with that little state vacation, and then doing my thing, getting training and getting the right people in my corner to get things back to where they need to be. But we definitely on track for that with Coach Anthony. And then my stablemates keep him driving me every day. Dre Graham, the Marcos brothers, Kenny Lamos. You know, just pushing me in the right direction to be all right. And as you can see by the broad shoulders underneath this jacket, I'm looking nice. So let's do this. And I can't forget the dudes over at Grudge. I've been welcome to come there for the heavyweight sparring anytime that I need it. And so that open door policy, I can never say anything bad about the fact that Chris Morrison and Trevor Whitman have left the open door policy for me to come get some work down over there. To the people in my challenge, keep up the good work. Alan, I'm super proud of you, man. I hope you know this. Everybody just keep pushing in the right direction, man. Let's get there together. You know, my dream is my dream, your dream is your dream, but I have no problem supporting your dream. I want to help you get there. I want to help you achieve everything that you want to do. And if there's anything that I can do, I will do. You know, don't forget to support WBC Cares. Go out there and look up RockyMountainBoxing.com, FightNews.com, and keep up with all of that. Chris Morris and them, and let's just shine together, man. All right, till the next video, this is Black Rose, and I'm out.